Now, I know that me being one individual, I can't change the world, but I want to give my opinion on the situation with Donald Trump. We have kids now that are going to schools, white kids that are actually discriminated against Latino kids, putting up videos saying that, let's build a wall. We have a video that just came out where it's showing that certain airlines is giving free rides to black people or people of color back to Africa. That also caption reads that they're giving Asian people, whether you be Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Indonesian, or Filipino, trips back to Asia. And it also is offering Latino people doggone trips back to Mexico, when we all know that all people are not from Mexico. Now, here's my opinion. There are those in this world that are racist down in the deep parts of the South, but there also are good white people that don't believe in the stuff that Trump believes. They have been in these protests right along the side of different cultures, and I think that is a beautiful thing. I think that when you see that a black person, a Latino person, an Asian person, a white person all can unite in one agreement, that is a beautiful thing. Now, we all know that Trump is basically racist against women, blacks, Latinos, Asians, and a few others. And here's my take on it. I don't think we should fall into the hate, but instead we take this opportunity, blacks, Latinos, Asians, Africans, Pacific Islanders, and anybody that's a minority that ever been discriminated against, or family members or ancestors have been discriminated against. I think we all should unite. Because, see, with us uniting, that's not what they want us to do. They don't want us to unite. They rather for us to hate one another and destroy one another. Now, I want to say something to people that sometimes, because the media would show black people as being violent and so forth, my city, Maryland, we just recently had a protest, and which proved that just like any other city, we walked alongside everybody else. I was there myself at the protest. Now, my take on this is that we should continue. Instead of doing what they want us to do by hating one another, by destroying one another, let's do piss them off by all of us getting along, uniting as one. This goes for black people, this goes for white people, this goes for Latino people, this goes for Asian people, this goes for every culture that ever in their life, for whatever reason or ancestors, have ever been discriminated against. Nobody wants to go back to the 60s. Everyone has a right to do anything that they want in the United States of America. If you work hard, you can accomplish goals. Yes, there are some people in my culture that do some wrong things, but I'm more than sure that if I talk to an Asian or a Latino or whatever, there is good and bad in all people. Unfortunately, the media sometimes wants to show the negativity. Now, don't fall into the divide and conquer bull crap that they're trying to feed us. Continue down the path that I see that's going on across the country. Walk, protest. Yes, we cannot change the fact that Trump is the president, but we have the right to voice our opinion. Now, many people that are racist saying that, oh, well, we should accept Donald Trump as the president because you got to respect your president of the United States of America. Those same people, when Obama was elected, wanted him to show his birth certificate. They wanted the man, they called him a monkey. And we had one of the greatest presidents there ever was. He was trying to do something for all the people. And that's what we need in the White House. Someone who does something for all the people. Now, Donald Trump, there's a little thing that's going to come up about him, having parties where he molested young girls and so forth. Now, it's not right for a man to go up to a woman and grab her by the pussy. That's not right in any culture. But it tells you the diversity and the disdain that he has for women. Now, to those of you that voted for Trump, now when he starts an unjustified war for no reason, and your children are dying in that war, and he says, defend the United States of America, I want him to remember the same people that you talked about, blacks, Latinos, Dominicans, and people of color, those are the same people that you're going to have to count on when this country goes to war. Now, we think that things was wrong when there was a false war on weapons of mass destruction. Can you imagine if Trump is talking to someone from Korea or someone from another country and he doesn't like what they says? He's going to declare war. Now, a person that's in the pocket of Russia, I don't kind of trust too much because that kind of makes me feel uncomfortable about giving away American secrets. Now, I myself have served in the military. I've had family members who served in the military. Hence, that's another reason why I very seldom show my face in other jobs that I do. But that has nothing to do with anything. People in this world, I want you to hear these words that I'm saying to you now. The greatest power that we have is the power to love. Because in the end, it's not about what culture you are. In the end, it's about us being one race, as God intended it, for all people. Because the way that God intended it, he did not look at black, white, he didn't look at Asian, Pacific Islander, or culture. He looked at us as human beings. So let's unite together against injustice. Because any injustice against any person is wrong. Now, me, myself, I consider myself a human being. I once heard a great man say the same thing, and his name was Bruce Lee. He was asked by a British reporter, how do you see yourself, as American or Asian? And he replied, human. We're not animals. All black people are not bad. All Asian people are not bad. All biracial people are not bad. Just like all white people are not bad. All Latino people are not bad. This is 2016. Stand for injustice together. And the same thing applies for my young brothers that's out here calling themselves the Bloods, the Crips, the Latin Kings. It's time for you brothers to unite too, because we got a bigger war. A war of doing what is right. Because if we go down this path that Trump wants us to do with this hatred and so forth, we ain't going to have no country. So that's my opinion. I pray for the world. I pray for every human being of this world, regardless of what culture you are. And I pray that we can spread a message of love and stand for injustice. Whether it be a child being molested in India, a child going hungry in Africa, a person being discriminated against because, they want to come to America. America was built on different cultures. That is what makes it great. It's not one culture. And the same person that says deport Latinos, I wonder if he feel the same way if all of them walk out of his hotels. If the working class people of America, stop cleaning his bathrooms and his toilets and all that. America runs because we are a great people. Now, any man that went bankrupt, it really, really, truly scares me that he's going to have all this money to play with. And basically, I'm afraid just like you guys are. But one thing that I have never done in my life, and that is run away from a fight. I stand for my black brothers and sisters. I stand for my Latino brothers and sisters. My Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, whatever you want to call yourself. My African brothers and sisters. My white brothers and sisters. I stand for all people of the United States of America. Because God intended, we all have free will. We can choose to hate, or we can choose to unite together and stand together as one. Thank you. And choose love over hate, because the greatest power we have is love. Don't fall for the hate. And definitely don't fall for the divide and conquer crap that